Okay, so this is the last video, which is going to review the outcome for the assignment four. So this is not a traditional conclusion. This is called sociological reflexivity, where you reflect on your project, the data you collected, and the manner in which you presented your work to your audience. And as I mentioned in class, when I reviewed this assignment initially, I explained that the outcome is not a traditional conclusion. If I wanted to read a summary of your ideas, I would just read the whole paper again. So the intent of the outcome is more to encourage you as a researcher to take inventory based on the different steps and the things that you were able to accomplish for this particular type of research and writing. Okay. So I'm just going to go through these points and then I'll show you the example in order to help you understand how to put this together. Okay. So the first point you're going to address is, did you gain an appreciation for the research cycle? And as I mentioned in class, for some of you, this might open up like deep-seated wounds about when you first took Sociology 101 or Sociology 1, whenever you took it either at Dominguez Hills or at another institution. But the idea of the research cycle is that every researcher uses in order to conduct research, right? And it's a convenient model because as part of the scientific methodology, you want to have consistency as you're going through research. Not only consistency in terms of how it relates to larger theoretical and empirical and academic debates, but also in terms of how your research contributes to understanding of that particular topic. Okay. And then once you address this particular point, then you're going to go to point number two and address, did you learn the importance of systematically studying your object of study, and explain what you gained in terms of the importance of systematically studying something. Um, and the reason why I have these 2 points necessarily together is because Roman numeral 2 actually accentuates the point that you're making in Roman numeral 1. Okay. And then once you've written on understanding why it's important to study something systematically, and I'm also going to explain how you're able to determine this in a moment. Um, uh, because you want to sort of focus on what you wrote for assignment two and then compare it to what you wrote for assignment four. But also, if you want to gain like a slightly deeper understanding in terms of how your understanding and competency in understanding the theme of the course, review assignment one when I asked you about, and also depending on what course you're taking me for, what's your understanding of the term globalization? Or what is your understanding of the terms race and ethnicity? Or what is your understanding about your own identity or subjectivity and how you relate or relate to others and your position in society? Right. So then that's how you're able to determine and able to develop an idea that's addressing this particular point. And then once you're done with that, then you're going to address the last point, which I you've already done for me with for the mini seminar. And you're just going to explain about like if you gained a deeper understanding or a new understanding, or clarify any understanding about your particular topic. Okay. So like here, let me show you my example. And here it is. Okay, so this is what I wrote. Completing this research, I have gained an appreciation of the research cycle. Following the research cycle helps to avoid unnecessary steps that may cause research from going, sorry about that, from going on tangential themes. The research cycle uh, allowed the researcher to remain focused, allowing the development of ideas around how globalization facilitates human trafficking. The research cycle has allowed this project to proceed systematically by avoiding repetition of an idea. Preventing repetition of ideas allows incremental ways of fully developing um, ideas revolving around the object of study. Completing this research project has deepened my understanding of how globalization facilitates human trafficking. Because of the magnitude of profit from human trafficking, the risk is too great to ignore for human traffickers. This profitability, for example, has even drawn the attention of Mexican drug cartels, which have begun dealing in human trafficking. Okay. So hopefully, this sort of shows how you would go about in developing the outcome, but then also just sort of assume that in the lit review, I talked about drug cartels and how that relates to human trafficking because that's a reality that has been happening um, in Mexico and also in other drug cartels around the world as well. Okay. So hopefully these videos are helpful for you. But again, if you still need any points of clarification, be sure to ask questions in class. Okay. So I'm going to stop here and I'll see everyone when we return to class.